Hello, welcome to this update for the Suffy weather. So we had a few updates. So we have two enhanced risks now, spots of Texas into Oklahoma, this bigger one, and also another in spots of eastern Arkansas into Mississippi and parts of Alabama, and also southern Tennessee, southwestern Tennessee. There's this light risk from New Mexico all the way to Georgia, and there's this marginal risk all the way from Colorado to Florida. So we do have this 5% tornado threat across Oklahoma and spots of Texas, and especially those areas this afternoon might have a higher chance of a tornado or two, and also spots of Arkansas into Mississippi and Alabama. So be careful in those areas, including southwestern Tennessee. And there's this tiny 2% in Colorado. That's so tiny, but be aware too. And there's this 2% goes all the way from southern Colorado to Georgia. So be careful, please. There's wind 30% across Oklahoma and Texas, and hatched for potential some hurricane force winds and those storms. So please be careful in those areas, especially spots of Oklahoma into Texas. There's this 30% in Arkansas, to Alabama, to spots of the Tennessee, Mississippi. So be careful in those areas. Some damaging wind gusts. There's the 15, the 5%. And there's hail, especially in Texas and Oklahoma, some very large to giant hail spots of northern Texas. So please be careful more into Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City. So stay safe in those areas. There's the 15% too. So severe thunderstorms, including the risk for very large hail swathes of wind gusts with isolated 75-mile-per-hour gusts plus, and a few tornadoes are expected across parts of southern plains this afternoon and evening, including northwest Texas, southern central Oklahoma. A scarce severe thunderstorms, large hail, and damaging winds will also be a concern across the mid-south Tennessee Valley and parts of the southeast. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful and have many ways to receive warnings, especially in all of those areas, but especially in Texas and Oklahoma. So be careful in those areas. We still have some storms going on there in Arkansas, spots of Missouri, and later does show a few other ones stronger in Arkansas, some stronger cells. They go towards eastern Arkansas and Tennessee, where the other enhanced risk is. But does show those cells across central western Texas, like northwestern Texas this afternoon, and Oklahoma shows some pretty strong cells, central Oklahoma. This goes, but those initial cells in Texas might be the strongest, with a few tornadoes too. So please stay safe in those areas. And be careful in northern Mexico if you're there too. But this does turn into a line of damaging winds later on, including northern Texas, all the way to Oklahoma City. So please be careful those storms. There'll be this second line across Mississippi and Alabama. You can see some very strong storms within that line. Might have those very damaging winds, but especially like embedded tornado threat. So this goes, and this line from Texas and Oklahoma turns very huge later in the night, and spots of Arkansas, Oklahoma, into Texas with that heavy rain too, and continues until tomorrow further south. So be careful in those areas. And tomorrow evening, afternoon still shows some severe storm spots of Oklahoma and Texas. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. You can see those storms in Florida this afternoon. That there was some huge hail there yesterday and some crazy storms. And then they'll show even southern Georgia, storm or two, more spots of Florida. So stay safe. Those ones across Arkansas into Mississippi, and then this goes. So please be careful. And Monday, spots of Louisiana too, more areas there. So here the whole area does show a few strong ones in New Mexico, potentially into Colorado, and then this goes. So please be careful. That shows some weird showers, perhaps a few thunderstorms for spots of the northeast in New York, but nothing crazy. Just some showers in Chicago, especially some more there in Quebec and Ontario. So be aware. And here does show tomorrow still this light risk across Texas into like northwest and most Louisiana, and then this marginal risk from New Mexico to South Carolina. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful, still 2% tornado threat tomorrow across Texas. So be careful, there's still wind 15 and 5%, and there's hail 15 and 5% too. But hatched across spots central western Texas, some very large hail. So a severe threat is expected on Monday across parts of southern plains with large hail, wind damage, primary threats. Marshally severe storms also be possible outside the slight risk area from the southern plains to the southeast. So be careful in those areas. And Tuesday, still like this marginal from Texas to South Carolina and much of the south. So still be aware spots there Tuesday. And the marginal severe threat are expected on Tuesday from parts of southern plains eastward into the southeast. So be aware, but nothing that crazy. So be careful, but especially today in those areas, stay safe. Those storms. There's still the fire threat spots to the southwest into Texas and Arizona, New Mexico. So be careful. Does show here Cape, those areas. Does show higher this afternoon, like northwestern Texas and Oklahoma, showing some spots to 5,000 joules per kilogram northwestern Texas, into Oklahoma more than 3,000, 4,000, and Arkansas too, spots of the southeast. So stay safe in those areas. There's a lot of instability, and still in Texas tomorrow does show some, but especially today in those areas, stay safe. There these dew points still showing, like especially across Texas slightly higher, and doesn't show anything like crazy further north, but does show Oklahoma into Texas. Those oranges are like in the 70s dew points, so be careful those areas. And yeah, tomorrow still shows some across central Texas. So the HER does show the updraft holistic for those severe storms. It does have two areas to pay attention more. One, spots of eastern Arkansas into Tennessee, northern Mississippi. It has, especially in eastern Arkansas, some very strong signals, and this other area in Texas and into Oklahoma, especially this area, I think might get more concerning. So please be careful in those areas, the large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. And does show northern New Mexico, a finger too as well. So be careful those areas. And does show the tornado threat, like the tornado parameter this afternoon. Doesn't show anything too crazy, but does show a finger to northern Texas and perhaps northern Mississippi as well. But shows some spots in northwestern Texas with those cells might have the potential. So be careful later into Oklahoma, a few spots higher. So stay safe in those areas. And here still shows like this moderate risk of excessive rainfall, like especially in Oklahoma, most of central to eastern Oklahoma, and into Arkansas too. That's a funny shape. And there's the slight risk from Texas to Alabama, and the marginal. There's this other cute marginal spots of Colorado and to Wyoming, and spots of Nebraska, South Dakota. So be careful. And also a slight in the southeast, in Georgia, South Carolina, in this marginal. So be careful there, especially the flash flooding spots of Oklahoma. Still a marginal from Texas to Tennessee for Monday. Tuesday, this marginal still from Texas to Pennsylvania. For Wednesday, still shows this marginal from Kansas to Mississippi, and this other one on the East Coast. And still Thursday, a marginal. So stay safe in those areas. There's like here for this rain, so yeah, I think this is yeah here. So stormy Memorial Day weekend is on tap for the Great Plains Mid-South. Daily rounds of strong severe storms alike result in areas of flash flooding, especially overnight. So they have some tips to prepare for the flash flooding too. This was made, I think, a few days ago, Friday, because that's a different shape. But just be careful in those areas and stay safe from flooding. Turn around, don't drown. And this shows still the extreme heat risks, southern Texas, and major in many areas of southern Texas. So please be careful. And spots of central Louisiana shows some extreme in a few areas, and major. Still Monday, extreme in southern Texas. Tuesday, major. Spots of Florida, some moderate to major as well. Even a tiny extreme. And there's Wednesdays, some moderate in the west and the southeast. Thursdays across the west, some moderate. Later next week across California might get hard. So stay safe in those areas. And I didn't show you the rainfall. So here still shows like day one. Those areas of Oklahoma to Texas, like 2 to 3 inches in some spots, might be locally higher. It depends on the model. Day 2, but day 1 through 7 still shows in areas more than 5 inches, Texas into northern Louisiana and Arkansas, and all the way to Alabama. So be careful. Those areas still a very wet pattern. So be careful. But here, like some slightly shorter range does show the hurt like until Tuesday in those areas, like in inches. So it does show in Oklahoma, like next 2 days across Oklahoma, some 7 inches, some 5, 6 inches. It even has like 4.5 inches in Oklahoma City. So please be careful. It also has across Texas more than 4 inches into Tennessee and Arkansas, especially Central Arkansas. It has like 7 inches. Has out in South Carolina too, and those scared storms in Florida, especially Central to Eastern Florida. So stay safe in those areas. There's the European for this time frame. It has even like more than 5 inches in Texas as well. The GFS, Texas and Oklahoma, the icon is even as far north as Tennessee. So be careful in those areas. And 5 days shows until Friday. Shows even more spots of Arkansas and Tennessee, those areas. So stay safe. The icon too, and the GFS shows even more in Texas, in Alabama, Mississippi. So be careful in those areas with flash flooding and stay safe. And also further south across Mexico, those areas even shows close to 100 millimeters in a spot or two, like in some very isolated spots, like to 98 or something, but plenty of storms across those areas. So be careful, especially in Nicaragua and Costa Rica, Guatemala. So be careful that rain. Some on the Eastern Caribbean, especially Southeastern Caribbean, a few storms and rain. But especially Dominican Republic shows some more storms. The GFS is showing a lot there, even just 61 millimeters. The European just 24. The GFS has even to 70 in Cuba. So we'll keep watching. The icon, very little. So yes, stay safe in those areas. The GFS is a bigger area in Texas. Texas, not in Mexico, to more than 100 millimeters. So be aware in those areas. Just some heavy rain, lluvia fuerte y tormentas. So be careful. In Canada, it doesn't show that much, just some across the east, especially Quebec into northern Canada. Some more showers, a few storms in Quebec into southern Ontario, but the real rainy place here is British Columbia. Shows more than 100 millimeters, even to 170 spots of the Pacific because of those fronts. So stay safe in those areas. Southern Alaska, uh, sure, like more than 5 inches. So some spots there are just 6 inches, 7. So stay safe, spots of southern Alaska too. And these will also have snow, of course. So especially in those mountains, show spots of British Columbia to more than 174 centimeters. Alaska, the same thing, and shows more across western British Columbia into Alaska, more like northern Alaska, more than like 8 inches, close to 9 inches spots in northeastern Alaska. So be careful. Some into Yukon, northern Nunavut, and northern Quebec shows more 5 days, northern Labrador. So be careful. The show centimeter or two, like Newfoundland, some 3 centimeters, still shows in Colorado, those areas close to 4 inches, 5 inches, a few spots in northern Utah, Wyoming. So still a tiny bit of snow possible. The GFS does have some in Colorado too. So stay safe, be aware those areas. The European does show slightly more wind, spots of Texas, a few spots of the west, nothing crazy, but does show some wind. The Caribbean too, so be aware. Then Monday this goes, maybe still some wind across like Central Canada, Northern Plains, into Texas, and in the Pacific, in the Caribbean, slightly more wind. Monday, Tuesday, the coast of southern Alaska into British Columbia, some higher gusts, and a few spots of Texas. Tuesday, this goes, does show there like still near Alaska, spots of Yukon by next Wednesday, Thursday, a few spots stronger in the Caribbean still, and like northern Mexico, a few spots in the mountains stronger. In our next system, the Eastern Pacific, tropical storm Alvin, most likely. So this goes, and now the Europeans very excited because before it was too weak on the European. So this goes, shows like by next weekend in Eastern Canada, probably more wind, and Northern Canada too by next weekend. So we'll keep watching, but be aware those areas. And still shows here like those very hot temperatures across southern Texas, in the southwest as well, and the southeast, especially more than 100 in southern Texas. Let's just see closer to see like 103, probably to 104 in a few spots. So stay safe. And still shows a similar thing next several days, like some 90s across the southwest, even more than 100 still by Monday afternoon, the southeast. So, not southeast, southern Texas, southeast in the 90s. But be careful in the Rockies during the night, still some 30s, Sierra Nevada too. So, be aware. And still by Tuesday morning, slightly colder in the Rockies and those areas. Tuesday afternoon, in the southwest, much hotter spots of southern Texas, still in those hundreds. And still like by Wednesday morning, slightly colder in the Rockies in those areas. Some 40s in the plains, a few spots the northeast. Does show by later Wednesday this heat building further west, so 90s as far north as Washington, and in the hundreds in California and Arizona. So 90s the southeast, and gets better in Texas. Still kind of cold in the Colorado Rockies by Thursday morning. And Thursday afternoon, still more than 100 in Nevada, Arizona, California, and even Idaho to 94 in some valleys, and still slightly colder in the mountains. Friday afternoon, multiple hundreds in the valleys in California. Death Valley might even reach like 114 or something, right? Because those colors look really dark in those valleys. So be careful if you are there. And then does show spots the southeast, some 70s central areas, and still shows Saturday the 31st, slightly cold in the Rockies at night, and especially during the days Saturday, those spots of the southwest, especially in California to 105 in the valleys, Texas in the 80s, Florida too, but especially this heat might be there later on near the valleys, and you see how dark it is near Death Valley, so it might be really, really hot there. So be careful, more spots of Arizona later on. So stay safe. There's like for wind just next 24 hours, shows slightly gusty Washington, a few spots, and the plains, some breezes, but nothing crazy. Just those storms, those hurricane force winds are very crazy, so be careful with that. And shows like snow, like a tiny bit northernmost Utah, in Colorado, a little bit in maybe Wyoming. So be aware. And the precipitation is also crazy. Those areas more than 4 5 inches in a few spots. So stay safe, be careful. Those areas still in Canada, those colder temperatures further north, and we have that heat building central Canada. Those areas even to 29 30 degrees in a few spots, and even Alaska is milder. So this goes shows like during the night on the west in those mountains still colder, and spots in the north there, but the afternoon still alright, much warmer. Central Canada Thursday even shows to 30 northern Alberta, like Wednesday afternoon and Thursday, especially Thursday afternoon, like 33 degrees. Friday still colder, spots of the northwest into Alaska and northern Quebec, but much warmer later those areas. So yeah, stay safe. And we still have this area in the Eastern Pacific to watch. The GFS still very strong with it. There's the European, it's slightly stronger than before, but still less than the GFS. But it does show a tropical storm there. There's the Canadian, shows kind of a tropical storm as well, but it's not showing as strong as the GFS. There's here already to 80% chance of formation and 10% in the next 48 hours, but 80% in the next 7 days. So it still remains disorganized, but the conditions appear favorable for a tropical depression to form. So we'll keep watching.